Coffee? We could be here for a while.
That's all right, I'm fine.
On the contrary, my friend. You're in a great deal of trouble.
Look, Robert, I have nothing to hide, so why don't you just come right out and ask your questions?
Well, you see, I've got this theory, Grant. You see, I think you already know what the questions are.
I assume they have something to do with Bunny Willis.
Big pals, you two. High school, college, pre-med. Goes way back.
That's right.
Yet we've just fished him out of the Port Charles River. You don't seem too upset about that.
No, Robert, that's where you're wrong. I am extremely upset about it. But considering the way that I was told, and what has happened to me since I was told, I'm a little upset about my own welfare, too.
And well, you should be.
Damn it, Robert, I feel terrible about what happened to Bunny, but I can't tell you how it happened.
He was murdered.
Yes, you said that.
Yeah. Gerald was murdered, too.
No, Robert.
And Natalie. Almost forgot her. Now we can add Bunny Willis to the list. 3 people. All murdered. And the one thing they had in common, Grant, was you. Oh, I'm sorry, Grant. I just cannot accept that.
Robert, I told you before, I didn't even know they were all murders until you just told me.
And you still maintain there's no connection between the 3?
But if there's a connection, I don't know anything about it.
All right. Why don't we, talk about Gerald? Let's hear about his death.
Suicide.
You believe that?
You give me one reason I shouldn't.
What about that letter in the safety deposit box? Now, let it go now. How happy he was. The plans he was making for the future. How he wanted to be around and watch your children grow.
Robert, for your information and edification, I'm going to tell you something. Suicidal people are usually manic depressives. Their mood swings up and down from day to day. I assume that letter was written on an up day.
Very nice.
Yes, it's a theory.
What about Natalie?
What about Natalie? I was with your wife, Holly, and Celia at the Quartermains when she was killed. I was nowhere near the hospital. And as far as Bunny Willis goes, I was concerned myself when he left Port Charles so suddenly. I called him at home in Marin County. That was the last time I spoke with him.
Everything seemed all right?
As near as I could tell. In fact, I had no idea that he'd returned to Port Charles.
Let's talk about the telephone conversation.
Celia and I were concerned. He left without saying goodbye, so we called him at home.
Celia spoke to him too?
Briefly.
And that was the last you heard from him?
Robert, how many times do I have to tell you? Yes, that was the last I heard from him.
Any idea who might want him dead?
None. Everyone who knew Bunny loved him, including me.
Grant, are you prepared to swear to all of this?
Yes, I am.
Will you take a lie detector test?
All right, Robert. If you really think that's necessary, I'll take your test.
You don't have to, you know.
I have nothing to hide.
Good. I have some papers for you to sign.
Robert, don't you think you might be overdoing it just a bit? You can't really believe I had anything to do with Bunny's death.
It's called covering all bases.
Well, I've read that these things are not always reliable.
True. They have been known to be wrong. But they can generally give you an idea as to what's bothering a person.
Do I look like anything's bothering me?
As a matter of fact, you do.
It's not.
Let's wait and see what the machine says, huh?
My word isn't good enough for you, huh?
I'm afraid not. You see, in my line of work, you come across a lot of lies, a lot of attempts at deception. And after a while, you get a sort of a sixth sense as to what the truth really is. And in this particular case, I think there's a whole lot that you're not telling me, hence the machine.
All right, Robert. Your machine's gonna pick up that something's bothering me. Because something is. I'm very bothered by Bunny Willis's death, but not for the reasons you think. He was my best friend. We grew up together.
I know that.
Then what is this all about? The last thing I'd want is for something to happen to him.
How we doing?
We're just about there.
You know, Robert, I've told you, I really don't think this is all necessary.
And I've told you. It is necessary. Now, in order to get an accurate reading, we need you to relax.
Methinks he doth protest too much.
Yeah, well, what does that tell you?
Boy, is he hiding something.
Now all we have to do is find out what.
Ready here.
Grant?
Let's get this thing over with.
All right. Is your name Grant Putnam?
Yes.
Your wife's name is Celia?
Yes.
You're a doctor?
Robert, what
Answer yes or no, please.
Yes, I'm a doctor.
Are you nervous?
No,
Yes or no?
not really.
Did you know Bunny Willis?
Yes, I knew Bunny Willis, Robert.
And you were surprised when he came to Port Charles to visit you?
Yes, I was surprised.
Until I told you today. Did you know he was dead?
No.
I'll ask you that one again. Until I told you today, did you know that Bunny Willis was dead?
No. Is that all?
It looks like he's telling the truth.
Maybe.
But there doesn't seem to be any indication that he's lying.
Grant said it himself. These machines are not necessarily accurate.
So, you know nothing about Bunny Willis's death?
Nothing.
Yes or no, please.
No. Now, is that all?
I got one more, if you don't mind.
All right.
Did you kill Hector Gerald?
I did not. Oh, what? This is preposterous, Robert. Damn insulting. Now get these things off of me. I don't know what you're trying to pin on me, but you're not going to do it. Now get this machine out of here.
Now, calm down, Grant. Nobody is trying to pin anything on you.
Then why the hell did you start with the questions about Dr. Gerald?
It's an unsolved murder. I've got to follow all leads.
Let me tell you something, Robert. Something you ought to be aware of. Dr. Gerald was like a father to me. You read what was in that letter. His death was the last thing on earth I would have wanted. If there were any way that I could have prevented it, I would have. And you, surely you of all people ought to be able to understand that.
Yes, of course. But tell me, why did you find it necessary to rip off the electrodes?
Because that is an insult to me, to my profession, and my place in the community.
To be perfectly honest, Grant, I don't give a damn about your place in the community.
Well, if you were a true servant of the people, you would give a damn.
Yes, I am a servant of the people. And right now, I'm serving the three that are dead. Now, I have been appointed to find the party or parties responsible.
Then you're wasting an awful lot of time asking the wrong person.
I'll be the one to decide that.
Excuse me, Commissioner.
What is it, Carl? Send him in. Well, you've got company.
I have.
Darling, I'm all right. They haven't hurt you, have they?
Not Celia.
On behalf of my client, I'd like to know what's going on here, Commissioner.
Who's your client?
Dr. Putnam, as of 10 minutes ago when his wife engaged me.
Yes, what the hell is going
Now,
on?
Edward, I'll handle this. Am I to assume now that you're pressing charges, Robert?
No.
No.
Grant agreed to the questions.
If memory serves me right, that is a lie detector machine.
Right again. Grant also agreed to that.
Grant?
I've nothing to hide, Lee.
You realize you may have violated this man's rights.
Is that what you think, Grant? I mean, after all, we were just having a friendly discussion.
Grant?
No, Lee. As Robert said, it was just a friendly discussion.
You're free to go. Just don't leave town.
Come on.
What the hell's he doing? He's letting him go.
Come on.
So, as you can see, in each and every case, he was telling the truth.
Well, I'm sorry, Robert. That doesn't excuse you from letting him go.
I've got nothing to hold him on.
Okay, so you make something up.
What about the Gerald reaction? Come on, the way he yanked the wires off, he is obviously lying about something.
Unfortunately, he pulled the electrodes off, so now we'll never know.
All right, so there isn't any evidence on the machine, but his outburst, wasn't that indication enough?
Yeah, but he's agitated. Not necessarily lying.
There had to be a reason for the
Oh,
outburst.
you bet there was. To prevent him from having to answer the next question. By pulling those electrodes off, in effect, he was quitting while he was ahead.
Look, Robert, I'm confused. Where do you stand on this? Do you really think that Grant was exonerated?
The exact opposite. Now, more than ever, I'm convinced that he's involved.
So you let him go, huh?
Wait a second, wait. This isn't making any sense.
I didn't have a choice, Connie. I don't have any proof, so I can't hold him.
2 seconds ago,
Yeah,
you just
it's
said.
a gut feeling. Gut feeling. Grant may not have been the trigger man, but I'll bet he knows who was. Which case means he's not working alone.
Okay, so there's someone else involved.
Right. That explains why Grant could answer the questions truthfully. He didn't kill anybody. I'll bet he knows who did.
I hope you're right, Robert.
We'll know soon enough. I let him go so that he can lead us to our man. Or woman, as the case may be.